Drunken Hat.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Magic the Gathering Arena. Today I'm doing a deck list video for the Play Draw deck. The Sram equipment, kind of Tron, draw cards when you play spells deck. I call it Play Draw just because you play a card and you draw a card. It's very easy, very simple. I will start with the wonderful Sram himself. He's a 2/2 for 2, already decent baseline stats, and whenever you cast an aura, equipment, or vehicle spell, you draw a card. This is amazing. In Commander, he is one of the strongest commanders ever, just because he generates so much value, and there's also a just ton of ways to start playing equipment and playing other spells for free, and just playing your entire deck, putting it all on Sram, or one of the other creatures that gets an extra bonus, and just exploding your opponent's face. He is a very, very nice deck. Also, it's just fun to be able to have that hand card consistency of being able to draw. In a 100-card format, really relevant. So, we're going to start with one of the newer equipments from the stupid set, the Garbage Alchemy, Soulstealer X. Number 1, it's a 1-cost. That means you can generate some serious card draw. Number 2, it gives the equipped creature trample, which is very, 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 very relevant in any kind of Tron deck. Because if you're playing a Tron deck and your opponent is blocking it with a 1/1 and not taking any damage, you're going to lose. They will delay you long enough and you will lose. Because the Tron style focuses it all on one creature, yeah. So trample is super relevant. But then its other ability. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, seek a card with mana value equal to that damage. So you just get a random card. Like, say I push through for 2 damage. I'll just get a random 2-cost from my hand. This card is ridiculous. But usually you're just, like, seeking a 1-cost or a 2-cost. Usually. But if you hit for bigger runs, you can just... Oh, cool. I just got that. That's cool. Thank you. Fun. And, of course, I'm running the Shadow Spear, another very broken equipment. Strip your opponent's protection. Strip your opponent's creature's protections, particularly the indestructible. Like, that's really fun. One of the really fun interactions is having a Shadow Spear out, and then your opponent plays Heroic Intervention, and you're just like, actually, no. That's cool. Leather Armor, one of the best equipment in the game. A 1-drop that equips for 0. You can only equip it once per turn, but the Ward 1, as you saw in the thing, will definitely allow Sram to survive. If you drop this turn 1, drop Sram turn 2, put this on Sram. If you go first, your opponent will only have access to 2 mana at that point, unless they've somehow played like a 1-drop legendary, which is possible, but they won't be able to actually play the 2-mana kill spell to remove Sram, so you'll get to untap with Sram, which is really what you want to do with this deck in general. You just want to untap with Sram, and then play your entire hand and be like, oh, but my hand's still full, what happened? Curse of Silence, I feel I should really put a nice little a note towards this card because it's one of the coolest. Just one of the best commander. In Brawl, it's especially powerful because it's a 1-on-1. But just in Commander in general, I really like this. For starters, it costs 1. So you're not really investing any kind of like super, really difficult like problem. You're not expending a whole lot of resources to get a really nice effect. Number 2, it makes spells with the chosen name cost 2 more to play. This can really mess up your opponent's tempo. If they're playing like a Sram, like a 2-cost, a Sithis, the Harvest Hand, any of those like 2 or 3-cost commanders that want to hit the field and start generating value, this just stops it. It just stops it, and effectively you're just slapping on an initial commander tax to your opponent. And then when they do cast that spell, you can sacrifice this and draw a card. So it's a 1-cost thing that delays your opponent's commander, or another fun thing to do with this. If you see that because it shuts off the commander, but because it also shuts off any spell you name, for the most part. you can play this and name like what is it? Like name a rat colony. Every rat colony costs me 4 to play. Well, that's unfortunate. Or the Dragon's Approach. Every Dragon's Approach being 5 cost just to play it is... Whew, it ends decks. It ends decks like that. And like Persistent Petitioners, boom. But yeah, it has that secret sort of power, but on its base form, it's just amazing. Like, making your opponent pay more for their commander, taxing that thing, just stopping them from getting their engine going is always relevant. Yeah, enough gushing about that. Then I'm just kind of running, like, your standard, like, I want to have a million enchantment thing, you know. I'm running the Transcendent and Starfield just to make them cheaper. Even though I'm not running a whole lot of expensive stuff, it is really nice to just be able to play multiples and just... You want to play as many as you can and just draw off Sram. Batterbone, not the best equipment, but the Vigilance of Lifelink is relevant. Blackblade, I'm playing a Tron-like deck. It goes on Sram for 3, and it usually makes him pretty unkillable by conventional means. Kill spells are always going to be your bane, but Sram being a 2-cost initially really helps to mitigate them playing a kill spell on him every so often. And if they kill him every time you play him, you're stripping their kill spells. Easy as that. They're not going to be able to deal with the rest of your stuff. But yeah. Reprobation. Reprobation, pacifism, let's see. Where's the other versions? I believe there's a 4-cost. Yeah, Faith's Fetters. All those kind of, like, your opponent's things don't do the things that they want to do are all relevant. They're all very nice. Especially when they actually, like, change the creature itself into a lower power toughness, what have you. It makes it a lot... Whoa, what's the term? A lot just easier on you, because yes, if you just make them can attack or block, they're still a massive threat out there that you can't easily get rid of. But if they turn just say it turns into a coward, you can easily kill it, easily just wipe it off the board, and there's never an opportunity for them to be like, oh, well, I guess I'm just gonna kill your thing. Nettle Cyst, that same sort of artifact equipment. It's just an equipment version of all that glitters. It really is. Also, the living weapon is worth that extra 1 because just having it on a creature, you throw this out and the living weapon makes it a huge creature. And then your opponent has to decide, do I kill the Sram or do I kill the Germ? Because the Germ's going to hit me in the face for a lot. He's not going to have to spend any equip. But the Sram is also drowning cards. They'll probably hit the Sram, but then you have a giant Nettle Cyst that you're just like, okay, boom. Boom. Again, artifact, historic sort of thing. This card I put in because it's one of the best white cards in the thing. In the entire game. You put the Judgment counters on, and when it gets 3 counters, it can attack. It's a flying vigilance 4/4 for 3, which makes it already really good. But then its other side that just puts your opponent on the 3-turn clock. Ooh. Ooh. It's not even, like, really 3 turns. Because the 3rd turn... wait, no. Let's see. You play this. No, yeah, it is 3 because it's during your upkeep. But, yes. It says, I hope you have enchantment removal. Otherwise, all I have to do is delay you. Which is pretty easy. It's rather expensive, to be fair. It is rather expensive. Where'd he go? But yeah. But, really, it doesn't matter. Catilda is another one of those, because this is more aura-focused, the power and toughness being equal to the enchantments, I can run that more like enchantment, like synergy sort of thing going on. Also, anything with Disturb is just card value. It's like, oh no, it died. Well, anyway. Helm of the Host is a very good equipment, and having more than one SRAM is just, I win the game. Yeah, because at that point you're just drawing all the stuff. Settle the Wreckage for those really aggro decks, or even decks that run evasive creatures. Very relevant. Wrath of God, again, just Day of Judgment. Sometimes, because it's a Tron type deck, if my one creature dies, sometimes it's really relevant to just, okay, we're starting over. Wipe the board. Ooh. Then we're running Banished Life, Borrowed Time, Bound in Gold. Bound in Gold, a bit better than the other ones because it doesn't, because these two, when they're removed, they get the enter effect again, but this one just kind of shuts it off. Also, because it's enchant permanent, this is like, you see your opponent, they've got the Faceless Haven, then they're like, then you're like, oh, you have a Faceless Haven, interesting. Well, it's bound in gold now, it can only add one colorless. You can no longer turn it into a creature. Really relevant sometimes. I wish they would put more swords in. I wish I could run a swords, my crab with swords deck, which is Karthix, Cherix, the Raging Isle, which is just this giant crab, 0/17. You can pay mana to like reduce its toughness, increase its power. It's just, I like putting all the swords I can on that. It's a very fun deck to play because your opponent's like, I'm dying to a crab is like one of the best lines I've ever heard. I played it as an Arc Enemy once because me and my friends were doing like this Arc Enemy thing where we all were making like Commander Arc Enemy decks. And like Cherix beat 3 people down pretty handily once he got going. It was amazing. But yeah, Vanquish the Horde. Sometimes it's better than Wrath of God. Most of the time it's just not as good. Against token decks, this really shines, but in most decks, you're like, well, it still costs 4. Overwhelming Splendor, because it's an enchantment deck, and this is an aura card, getting to draw off this is already, like, if your opponent doesn't have a card that can kill an enchantment, this will shut off their entire deck. All of it. But yes. And usually, as soon as you play this, it's game over. Because suddenly, if it's a token deck, they're probably running creatures that care about those tokens entering. So that's off. It's just off activate abilities. So, that's, what is it? That's, Planeswalker abilities. So Planeswalker abilities suddenly, boop. Yeah, it's just really, really good. Planar Cleansing, Undo Reclamation. Those are in there more just because I've been seeing a lot of decks that are more like towards a focus like this where it's enchantments and artifacts rather than actual creatures that need removing, so I'm running that. Realm Cloak Giant, you want this card in it. I would choose this over Wrath of God any day. Not because being able to wipe the board even for 1 mana more and then having a spare creature that you can just drop at any time, a 7/7 Vigilance at that, is really good at just like you play this on 1 turn and then your opponent starts trying to rebuild and you're like, oh look, actually I have a 7/7 Vigilance. So not only am I applying pressure, but he's a massive blocker. Good. Sigil of the Empty Throne, again, I'm running mostly artifacts, and when you draw a card, create a 4/4 Angel each time. Very nice. Very nice, very nice, very good. Yeah, that's about, that's about all I can say about this deck. It's it's fun to play. I like decks where you're just like, I'm just gonna play my deck, see what you do, I'm gonna draw a bunch, I'm never gonna, like, run out of my hand, really. Also, you may have noticed I am down 1 land, because I like to live dangerously. But in actuality, it's because Undo Inversion took the place of that land. It's, you know, it's nice, it's cool, it's fun. But yeah, thank you all for watching. If you like this deck, go ahead and subscribe to see it in action. If you like this video, go ahead and give me that thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. It helps out the channel immensely. The deck list is in the description if you would like to test this deck out yourself. I'm working on getting Magic MTG Goldfish lately has just been a mess. So I'm looking for different sites to use, but until then, I might, if it's an MTG Goldfish deck, there's like a 50% chance that it just won't work. No one knows why. No one's saying anything about it, but it just... But maybe it won't be. Aside from that, I have it displayed here. Worst case, you can build it. But yeah. Once again, thank you all for watching. Bye-bye.
Drunken Hat.